Start now. Good afternoon and welcome to the Western Michigan University Board of Trustees meeting. I want to acknowledge and thank the board members for being here to discuss important matters of the university. And also thanks to all of you in the audience and those watching virtually for joining us. Secretary Thinnis, do we have a quorum?
Chair Turfy, we do.
And is the live stream operational?
It is.
Excellent. Thank you, Josh. At this time, I'd like to call on the board for a motion to accept today's agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, say no.
Aye.
The motion carries and the agenda is approved. Are there any comments or questions from trustees regarding the meeting minutes from February 12 and the special meeting on March 10? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved. Support.
It has been moved and supported that the board approve the minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no.
Aye.
The motion carries. Let's move right into the agenda. Today, we will hear updates from our shared governance partners, Presidents Nagel, Kritzman, and Binford. After that, Dr. Schumann, Interim Vice President for University Advancement and Executive Director of the WMU Foundation, will lead a presentation titled Investing in WMU's Future, Collaborating with University Advancement. Also today, we have special guests joining us. President Cavalluna will introduce the recipients of the WMU AAUP Scholarship for first-generation students. We will hear directly from these talented students, and we will take a moment to congratulate them on receiving this prestigious scholarship to further their studies. In action items, General Counsel Keith Hahn will lead us through recommended changes for our non-discrimination and sexual misconduct policies. Finally, we have special consent items under consideration on today's agenda, including approval of a single-use liquor license at the College of Aviation, a utility easement from Consumers Energy at the new Valley Oaks Residence Hall, an amendment to the Bernadine P. Carlson Graduate Professional Writing Award Endowment, as well as consideration of curriculum proposals, the personnel report, an annuity and life income funds performance report, and the operating cash and investment report. We also look forward to hearing public comments twice during the meeting, once regarding action items, and at the end of the meeting, general public comments. But first, we will hear from President of the University, Russ Cavalluna, who will share remarks and updates from WMU, no doubt including a ceremony close to his heart, commencement, happening in a few weeks. President Cavalluna, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, trustees, colleagues, students, staff. Welcome. Good to see you all again. We are right on the doorstep of commencement, which I'll talk about in just a minute, Mr. Chairman. But before I do that, I have a couple of things I want to do in the realm of thank yous and welcomes. The first is for those of you who did not watch the special board meeting that was on a virtual platform, what was that, 3 weeks ago maybe? If you did not see that, then you see a new face on the board dais here today. You may have to just turn around a little bit to see an old familiar face, because the secretary of the board for many, many years, who served us so well, is here. And in fact, the chair just mentioned Dr. Schumann is who I'm talking about. He'll be making a presentation that I'm really excited to share with you all, trustees and community members. But I'd be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to say that this board and you all have been served so well for so long by Dr. Schumann, who cares deeply about this institution, was for a long time the traffic cop up here, making sure things went the right direction, and I benefited from that. But I asked him to take on a new role as interim vice president at the University Advancement Department, which has some really exciting developments, which he's going to talk to you about. But before we do that, I do just want to say on behalf of the entire board and everyone from the university, how grateful we are to you, Dr. Schumann. You have served us well. You're going to continue to serve us well. And this board has many, many ways to show its appreciation, but on behalf of the board, and I almost never do this, speaking on behalf of the board, I do take a great privilege in saying thank you and asking all of us to join me in thanking you, Dr. Schumann, for your service. Mr. Chairman, Dr. Schumann probably never would have been able to hand the baton off if he couldn't find someone that he could trust, and he did. And we're really excited to welcome to her first in-person board meeting to our new secretary, Stacy Thinnis. She comes to this role after not one, not two, not three, but four, not years, but decades, 4 decades at Western Michigan University. And I'm just so proud of and thankful for the handoff that has happened between Dr. Schumann and Ms. Thinnis, because we are both well-served and excited to have her support here on the board. And for those of you that are new to these board meetings, Ms. Thinnis has big shoes to fill, but both Kayla and I are very, very optimistic, and I know the board is completely confident that Ms. Thinnis will be carrying on a long tradition of serving this board well, whether it's traffic cop or vote counter. I will say that it was my intent to move this meeting to Friday. I didn't do that, but I wanted to try and have the meeting on Ms. Thinnis' birthday. But we did move the meeting, so we'll just say everyone's going to wish you a happy birthday tomorrow, Ms. Thinnis. Mr. Chairman, you mentioned commencement. You're right. It's one of my favorite days of the year. It's kind of like Santa Claus or Christmas for me. It's on May 2nd. We'll be in Miller Auditorium for our 346th commencement. So 346th commencement. We're going to be giving out 2,300 degrees from 4 students representing 51 countries. That amounts to 1,700 bachelor's degrees, 500 master's degrees, and 80 doctoral degrees. How are we doing on the R1 with that, Dr. Seeker? Okay, good, good. Okay, 70, so we got over the line there. I'm really excited about the way we're doing commencements now, and one of the reasons I'm excited is the Faculty Senate President, Dr. Noggle, has continued to be willing to serve as the MC at commencements, and that offers a good way to showcase our shared governance, but also allow the President not to be the only person talking. And so thank you, President Noggle, for being willing to speak and manage the commencement. It'll be a busy day. We're going to do 4 of them in one day. And for those of you that were with us in December, you know that under my tenure, they go a little slower because I like to talk to the students, Mr. Chairman. I understand that you and some of the trustees may be addressing the graduates also. I'm excited about that. We've invited collective bargaining unit leaders to speak at the commencement ceremonies also, and I think if you do come to join us, you'll see some of the leaders of those institutions speaking. And just by way of changing of the guard, it's a little bit of bittersweet for me to, as I made mention of our MC at commencement, Dr. Noggle. Today is the last Board of Trustees meeting where she'll be serving as the Faculty Senate. I'm sure she'll be here for all the trustee meetings thereafter because she loves this so much. But I will say to you, as a new president, who literally gave this faculty president work, along with the previous chair of this board, those 2 leaders helped me do the listening tour. And Dr. Noggle, you've been a really good friend to me, but you've also been a great supporter to this board. And so I hope, I said it as a joke, but I truly do hope I can still see your smiling face and your support at these trustees meetings, because it has meant a lot to me in my 9 months, and I know the trustees feel that way also. Some good news I want to talk about, but I don't want to step on too much of Dr. Schumann's thunder. So I'll just say, if you didn't see the news, the Hayworth College of Business had its largest gift in its history a little bit more than a week ago, and that was $17 million from an interesting bank shot, so to speak. One of our most proud graduates was the trustee of an estate and the estate, the decedent had really no understanding of WMU, but really trusted our graduate to decide where a lot of that treasure that decedent had acquired would go. And so we're just so wonderfully excited to have that. And I think Dr. Schumann may make comments about that during his presentation, so I won't go into any more depth about that. I was also really excited to be with Dr. Schumann recently, where we broke ground at the McGree new facility. Now, McGree stands for the Michigan Geological Survey, and Michigan Geological Repository and Research and Education is what it stands for, but it is where the Michigan Geological Survey exists. And for those of you who don't know, we are the only university, and frankly the only institution in the state that has the authority and the privilege of having this vast library of core samples from the earth that Michigan occupies. And so we were really excited to have state funding and local funding support us to build a new building where that state authorized building, but WMU owned and operated building will be right next to our College of Engineering and in our Parkview campus. And we literally, Mr. Chairman, did the shovel and hat and dirt exercise, and it was an exciting day for us. It was a little windy out there, wasn't it, Kaylor? Which is why it was good to have hats on. I also want to tell you that we've been moving around the state and frankly the country trying to tell alumnus how excited we are that they're graduates of Western and telling them as the new president how I want to meet and greet them. We have done what we call Bronco Ride tours all throughout the country. I was just looking at the history in the last, I think, 4 or 5 months, and this is another thing that comes out of Dr. Schumann's office with the great help of Heather Stanley, who runs our alumni work. I believe we had 2 of those in Florida, 1 in Chicago, 1 in Denver, Phoenix, Detroit, and just last week we were in Washington, D.C. So it was a great opportunity for us to see alumnus throughout the country and talk about what is exciting about Western, and it is an exciting time to be at Western. And my hope, Mr. Chairman, is that we do this regularly each year, and I'll start to get after trustees to join me on those after our first pilot year of those. I want to congratulate the athletic department. We see Vice President Bartholomew there. He's very proud to announce that the dance team is now back-to-back national champions. They secured. They secured the Division I Large Jazz National title for the 2nd consecutive year, and we're really proud of them. We also knew that our hockey team was defending a national championship. They made it to the final, the final 8 teams, and they lost to the eventual national champion. And frankly, that was a team that we have been and could beat. So it was a very, very competitive year for us, and that's another successful story. That was also out in Denver, where you, Mr. Chairman, and your board were meeting for a conference, which I appreciate. Many of you. In fact, I think everyone who attended the conference was out there to watch our hockey players. Right in this room, just last week, we had a really exciting event that I'm not sure happens at other institutions. It hasn't happened with this amount of award. We partnered with a local venture capital firm that's called the competition is Cultivate 269, and the venture capital firm is, I think I heard you say, Trustee Hoadley, Kalamazoo Forward Ventures. And we had, Mr. Chairman, a stage right here in the corner of this ballroom where 9 students got an opportunity to pitch their own entrepreneurial ideas in kind of a Shark Tank pitch-a-thon. And it, to my knowledge, is the largest gift award that this venture capital firm put forward of any others in the state. So the winner was going to take home $100,000 to seed fund their own entrepreneurial ideas. All Western Michigan University students, not even graduates yet, but active students. And it was an exciting, all the walls were broken down in this room, and it was full from here all the way. I couldn't find anywhere to sit. And LZ Granderson, who is a nationally renowned journalist and also a WMU faculty member and a graduate, was the MC. We had celebrity judges, and to see these young people pitching their entrepreneurial ideas was just amazing and exciting, and we can't wait to do it again. The former mayor of Kalamazoo was one of the leaders, another man named Dwayne Powell, another graduate. We're great partners, and we're excited to have them come back year over year. The winner was a student who is a French-speaking student, and essentially has a part-time job going and helping translate French-speaking people in our community. And he has organized an idea through his own abilities with software technology to make a device that can translate many, many languages with a handheld device that a person could take with them. As any good pitch, he had the opportunity to explain how life-changing this can be, because many of his jobs in translating happen in context of a hospital, where an emergency room physician and a French speaker in his context are trying to figure out the best treatment in the time-sensitive dynamic. So it was really exciting. If you haven't seen the news clippings, you'll see that our own Sam Maricel was the student who graduated, and his pitch was so good. It was he started. You would have been impressed, Mr. Chairman. He started, and the whole room got quiet because he basically explained this dynamic of someone in perilous need of medical help and not being able to get it because of a language barrier. So it was fantastic. I'm really excited about that being something we see at Western Michigan University over and over and over again. And as I said at that event, and I'll close with this, it's just one more example of why Western Michigan University is special. We have students and faculty and community members and philanthropists that want to come together to be at our university. They want to be this part of a community that works together and makes everything around it better, but actually is a result of us working together to grow as students and as faculty and as community members. And so most of what I've said is all in line with that, but that pitch contest was a great example. I did see Trustee Hoadley there. I appreciate him being there. And I'll pause now and answer any questions any trustees have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, thank you, President Cavalluna. Next, we will hear from our shared governance partners. Up is Dr. Amy Naugel, President of the Faculty Senate. Before I give you the floor, I just want to say thank you. On behalf of Shelley and I and the entire board, we've learned a great deal from you. Your leadership and commitment to this university is unparalleled, and thank you for your service.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Good afternoon, Chair Turfy, members of the board, President Cavalluna, colleagues and guests. On behalf of the Western Michigan University Faculty Senate, thank you again for the opportunity to address the board and to provide an update on our Senate activities. This Faculty Senate Executive Board recently received a presentation on the status of the university's strategic plan sustainability objective pertaining to climate change and its relation to the Faculty Senate Climate Change Resolution, and we look forward to continuing work on that resolution. At its most recent meeting, the Executive Board also explored and had a discussion about engagement of the Campus Planning and Finance Council and the interface that they have with the administration at the university. I'd also like to acknowledge the shared governance retreat that was held on February 13th, which brought together Faculty Senate leadership, undergraduate and graduate student governance leaders, President Cavalluna, members of the university's senior leadership team, and representatives from the Board of Trustees. I want to express special appreciation to Chair Turfy, Trustee Hoadley, and Trustee Liggins for their participation in that event. I think it was a productive and important opportunity for us to come together in the spirit of shared governance and an opportunity to strengthen communication, collaboration, and our shared commitment to the future of Western Michigan University. As the Faculty Senate councils and committees finalize their academic year activities, several memoranda of action are anticipated to come forward to the administration. Those topics include a revision of the undergraduate grade point average revision policy in order to increase the allowable number of GPA revisions and allow multiple attempts of the same course as a single revision and replace the current time limitations on that. A second MOA concerns the revision of a credit, no credit policy to allow major and/or minor credit to permit credits earned through pre-approved international institution programs to be applied toward major or minor requirements at WMU. And the final one is the revision of our service learning course approval procedures to align with the approved categorization as part of experiential learning at WMU. I want to offer congratulations to Faculty Senate President-elect Janet Hahn, who's Director of Healthcare Services and Sciences, Master Faculty Specialist in the College of Health and Human Services, and Vice President-elect David Rudge, who's with us here at the meeting, who's Professor of Biological Sciences in the Mallinston Institute for Science Education. I wish them the best as they begin their 2-year terms on May 1st of this year. And as this is my final opportunity to address the board in my role as Faculty Senate President, I really want to express my sincere appreciation for the opportunity to engage with all of you during what I think is a really pivotal and exciting period in the university's history. It's been a privilege to serve during a time that's been marked by new presidential leadership. We are fingers crossed that was our right decision. Extraordinary philanthropic momentum through the Giving Day and transformational donor support, athletic championships, and the continued recognition of the remarkable work of our faculty, staff, and students. I've also just personally enjoyed getting to know you at a personal level. I know on this table who's the best euchre partner and who you don't want to have as a euchre partner. But all of these moments, I think, reflect the strength, resilience, and promise of Western Michigan University, and I'm deeply grateful to have had the opportunity to contribute to this work in partnership with the Board of Trustees. So thank you for that, and I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Dr. Nagel. Next, we'll hear from Western Michigan Association President Luke Kritzman. Luke, you have the floor.
All right. Good afternoon, Chair Turfy, Vice Chair Burris, the rest of the board, President Cavaluna, and everyone in attendance. Thank you once more for allowing me to speak on behalf of the student body. I'm happy to share that the Western Student Association has had a great 25-26 academic year, and the current administration has been winding down and transitioning into the next year of student leadership. Last month marked the student body elections in which all students had the opportunity to vote for the 2026-2027 student body president and vice president. After a long election season, I'm also excited to announce that I have had a successful re-election campaign for the role of student body president, working alongside our current director for sustainability, Maya Bresnow, as my next vice president. So this may have been the final meeting of the 25-26 administration, but you are all stuck with me for one more year. Also, 2 weeks ago marked our elections for next year's Speaker of the Assembly, in which our current secretary, Jillian Kissel, won a narrow election to take the helm and lead Michigan's largest student assembly. While on the topic of our assembly, our final voting meeting took place just last evening. This past year, we have seen over 350 individual students walk through our doors, representing 242 registered student organizations. At this time last year, we represented only 225, well, only, that is still a huge number, but we represented 225 registered student organizations, seeing a slight increase in representation. We have allocated 187 unique RSOs for a total of over $800,000 back into the student body. The Western Student Association Partnership Fund also supported 58 organizations. 66% of all RSOs are represented through the Western Student Association, and through the use of our allocations, we were able to help fund 51% of all RSOs on this campus. Thanks to leadership from you all and the willingness of driven students, the Western Student Association is set up to continue its success. Having been in the role for a year now, it's taught me how courageous and passionate the student body is. Don't get me wrong, I already knew that the student body has been this way forever, but every day has been a new adventure, new challenges to pursue, more questions to answer, and another puzzle to solve. The Western Student Association has been looking for more ways to get the student body more involved and engaged in the Kalamazoo community. We have a few upcoming partners that we are excited to begin working with over the summer and into the next year. Also just yesterday, WSA took on City Hall, where our Executive Officers for Government Affairs, our Executive Officer for Government Affairs, Ian Evans, our membership chair, Tate Weirda, and myself sat down with the Kalamazoo City Manager and Chief Operating Officer to discuss the needs of students in the city of Kalamazoo and to work on a presentation for the upcoming City Commission meeting. We are hoping that this will be a lasting partnership, and WSA plans to do more advocacy at a city level to help bridge the gaps between WMU and downtown Kalamazoo. In addition, we are building relationships at a county level, where WSA will give updates on the student body at each meeting in the future. These relationships were built through projects spearheaded once again by our Executive Officer for Government Affairs, Ian Evans, whose leadership has been of amazing value to this organization and to the betterment of all students. And we are happy to have him joining us next year as our Chief of Finance. Sorry, Jeff, but we'll have another amazing student leader in the same role for you next year. But as the WSA 25-26 administration is officially passing the reins over next Wednesday at our end of year celebration held right here in the ballroom at 5 p.m. Anyone is welcome to come. This next year holds so much opportunity, and we have no plans of stopping anytime soon. Now I get put in a weird spot where my team's transitioning, but I'm kind of sticking around. So on behalf of the 25-26 administration, thank you for the partnerships that we've built up this year. Your appreciation for the needs of the student body is central to the success of us as shared governance. Now, on behalf of the 26-27 administration, we're coming in hot, hitting the ground running with a new cabinet in both executive and legislative leadership. I hope we don't annoy you too much as we bounce off a lot of new ideas and plans to all of our shared governance partners. And finally, on behalf of all students, we appreciate the opportunity to work as equals under our shared governance, and no matter who sits in these chairs and who comes up here to speak, we have the same goals. At the end of the day, the Western Student Association is empowered students empowering students. Thank you all for this great year, and as always, onward for the brown and gold, and I will take any questions you may have.
Thank you, President Kritzman. Next, we will hear from Graduate Student Association President Claire Binford. Claire, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, Chair Turfy, members of the Board of Trustees, President Cavaluna, and all in attendance. As we wrap up the academic year, I am grateful for the opportunity to reflect on the work we've accomplished and to recognize the incredible departments, offices, and individuals who have supported our success. For our final allocation cycle of the semester, the Graduate Financial Allocations Committee awarded conference grants to 4 grad students, along with 1 certification grant and 1 data collection grant. In addition to these individual awards, we provided 5 grants to registered student organizations serving graduate students for event support and funded 2 organizations for operational costs. I am also pleased to share that we are currently running elections. All graduate students can vote through Experience WMU, with voting closing on April 23rd. I look forward to seeing the impact of our next group of student leaders. I would now like to highlight a few exceptional graduate students. In February, we hosted our spring semester 3-minute thesis competition, where 9 students took on the challenge of presenting their research in just 3 minutes. Scholarships were awarded to the top 3 contestants, along with a People's Choice Award selected by the audience. Our People's Choice winner was Charlie Kovacs, a master's student in the geography department, whose presentation was titled Assessing Tourism-Based Communities and Development in Communities Surrounding the Indiana Dunes National Park. Our third place winner was Nichata Kamlu, a PhD student in mathematics, with her presentation, What Exactly is Productive Struggle? Second place was awarded to Allison Deemter, a doctoral student in biological sciences, for her presentation, Reliability of Frontal Sinus Morphology, Identification in Forensic Anthropology. And our first place winner was Rishabh Mishra, a master's student in aerospace engineering, whose presentation was titled, Let the Wind Power Whisper. Each of these students represents the innovation and excellence of our graduate community. It is an honor to work alongside individuals who are already making meaningful contributions to their fields. I would also like to recognize Madison Slater, who represented Western at the regional competition in Kansas City this March after winning last semester's 3-minute thesis. Madison is a master's student in the Industrial Organizational Change Program, and her presentation was titled Evaluating the Effects of Multifunctional Stations, Direct and Motivational Messaging on Paper Cup Recycling. I am also excited to announce that GSA and WSA were selected for Best SAF Collaboration at this year's Golden Broncos for the Montgomery Essential Needs Homecoming Drive, which you may all remember included Pie the Presidents. And continuing our partnership with Essential Needs, GSA is donating 44 sets of Master's Regalia to support the Regalia Lending Program, helping ensure that more students are able to walk at commencement. As we approach the end of the year, we look forward to celebrating at the GSA Gala tomorrow evening as well. And then in that spirit, I would like to take a moment to thank those who made this year possible. My Vice President, our Executive Board, our graduate assistants, and our advisor, Valerie Ott, for their dedication to supporting graduate students. I would also like to thank the Graduate College for their continued partnership, with special appreciation to Dean Bird Jacobs and Dr. Malia Roberts. Thank you as well to the Office of Student Engagement for their ongoing support, mentorship, and collaboration, especially Amy Gulasheki for her work in distributing allocations to students and organizations, as well to Chris Sly and Tyler Marushek. And thank you so much to Student Affairs, especially Dr. Anderson, for all your advice and support. Finally, and to the Board of Trustees, thank you for your continued commitment to Western. And now finally, thank you, President Cavalluna, for your openness, your engagement with students, and your clear passion for student success. I once asked what you wish students understood about your role, and your answer of wishing for all students to know you are available to speak with them about any concerns and to hear about their experiences speaks volumes about your student-centered approach. I encourage every student to see that opportunity and to never feel intimidated, but instead empowered to connect. Thank you all so much for your time and for this past year. I can take any questions.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question for the president. President Binford, do you have any announcements of your future?
I do. I just accepted a offer with Miami University of Ohio as Assistant Director of Student Programming. So I will be moving down there in May. I'm really glad that I was at Western this year since we did beat them in the MAC championship, but I'll try not to rub that in too much.
Yay!
Congratulations, and
Thank you.
President Bedford.
Thank you so much.
Next, I'd like to invite Dr. Kaylor Schumann to the lectern as he presents Investing in WMU's Future, Collaborating with the University Advancement.
Thank you, Chair Turfy, Vice Chair Burris, President Cavalluna, and board members. It's an honor to stand on the other side of the table and talk to you about some of the exciting things that we've got going on with University Advancement. This partnership works because of collaborative effort, and what I want to do is spend about the next 5 minutes talking about what that partnership looks like. I'm going to start with some exciting examples. There are so many, but I'm going to start with just a couple that really highlight the good work of University Advancement, but it goes so far beyond University Advancement. It really is truly the work of everybody within the university and the Bronco Nation. So two that I want to point out. One was mentioned earlier by President Cavalluna last week. Had the exciting opportunity to work with Dan Grady, an alum from the 80s who represents the Stan Lucas Trust as a co-trustee in that $17 million investment. The reason why that works goes beyond the fact that HCOB was working closely with advancement professionals, but really goes back to the time that Dan Grady had when he was on campus with the experiences that he had in the classroom and the experiences that he had both as an athlete and as an opportunity to engage with coaching. Western Michigan University makes a difference in people's lives, and it's through the generosity of alums like Dan Grady that provide opportunities for us to invest in the future. So again, just an amazing opportunity last week to hear the story of somebody who, albeit about 40 years ago, had an amazing experience at Western Michigan University that changed his life, that then provided an opportunity for him to give back. Another great example recently is with the Duncan Aviation Endowed Professorship of Technical Operations. Kudos to Dean Ray Thompson and his team, working closely with one of our foundation board members, the Chief Operating Officer for Duncan Aviation, Andy Richards, who worked closely with the Duncan family in order to create this endowed professorship. Now, endowed professorships are amazing opportunities to create longevity in the experiences that our students have with the professorship. So again, an example of where a foundation board member worked closely with the advancement team and the college in order to create an opportunity that sustains great teaching well into the future. If we're going to partner, Board of Trustees, I want you to know just a little bit more about who it is that you'll be collaborating with. So let me talk to you just briefly about the University Advancement team. We've got 67 full-time employees with 4 student employees. Our divisions are broken into administration, advancement services, alumni engagement and events, corporate and foundation relations, development, donor relations, and marketing. This is a really dedicated group of people that all have the love of the Bronco Nation, that are working hard to understand how their piece of the puzzle comes together in advancing the mission of the institution. We also work with a WMU Foundation board, which consists of 17 elected directors. There's 3 designated directors. Within the foundation board, there are multiple committees looking at the way that we steward the funds that come in from investors. And those committees include the Audit Committee, the Development Committee, Committee on Directors, Executive Committee, Finance Committee, Investment Committee, and Real Estate Committee. And for those of you who don't like meetings, well, I wouldn't invite you into my world at all. We are constantly looking at the way that we are stewarding the funds that come in for monies to then be responsibly utilized for faculty, staff, researchers, and students moving forward. We had amazing success with Giving Day just a few weeks back. I want to say thank you to the Board of Trustees and thank you to the campus community as a whole for working collectively on this. Our participation rate increased to an all-time high, 26% higher than last year, with 4,515 donors, which was just a huge opportunity for us to continue to build that pipeline of individuals who are connected to Western Michigan University. Gives us a chance to cultivate those relationships, to encourage things like annual giving, et cetera. But again, an all-time high for those who participated in Giving Day. Our total raise was just right under $4.3 million. So what an amazing success for a day's worth of fundraising. Kudos to, again, the advancement team that worked so hard in order to cultivate those relationships, but then to you as well. So this was an example of how over the course of the last year that we worked collectively with the university in order to create segmented opportunities for people to see and feel and experience what it is that they're investing in. So again, great success with the foundation, with the Giving Day, and a special shout out to those entities that participated at 100%, including the full university advancement team, the foundation board, and president's cabinet. So again, that 100% participation just shows the true dedication of those entities that are investing in that. Let's talk about the comprehensive campaign and where we're at with this. This is something that started back in 2019 with an amazing gift in 2020, and we laid out what ultimately would be a 10-year plan. If you can focus in on where the center dotted lines are, you'll see that we are in between the 25 and 26 building period. So what we're doing now is we are starting to ramp up strategy to move into what will become the public phase over the next couple of years. We are building capacity, we are building relationships, and we're getting excited about what the future holds as far as the comprehensive campaign. Again, an amazing opportunity for us to cultivate conversations with the campus community about what's happening within the classrooms, within the research areas, within the athletics divisions, in order to create opportunities for us to in turn sell those opportunities to people who want to invest in a better future for Western Michigan University. So we are at a stage where you're going to start hearing an awful lot more about the comprehensive campaign. We, to date, since the start of it, have raised $831 million total. Our fundraising this year is at $65,074 million. So again, some great success as we continue to move forward. You'll be hearing a lot more about total dollars raised and total number of donors. But we're excited to be able to share those accomplishments. When we talk about the campaign, it's important that we think about strategy, we think about timeline, and we have engaged BWF as a consultant to work with us on maximizing our strategy moving forward. I've got an opportunity to introduce to you Nick Perlick. Nick is the Vice President from Campaigns and Fundraising Strategy from BWF. Nick comes from a celebrated background working as an administrator both at Vanderbilt University and also at Eastern Kentucky University, and has years of experience helping universities bring success to their fundraising endeavors as it relates to campaigns and beyond. So BWF is a trusted source. I'm going to let Nick tell you what you can expect from this point forward working with BWF. Thank you.
Dr. Schuman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, Board, President Cavaluna, I really appreciate the chance to be here. So we are brand new as your campaign consultant in this journey, and it's an exciting time to share with you a little bit about what our scope of work is going to be. We're beginning, and a colleague and I had the chance to be here this week, we're beginning with a review of your advancement program to look for opportunities where we may be able to strengthen the staff and the infrastructure within advancement, as well as the processes that they're undertaking. So looking at the program as a whole. We're going to spend time talking with campus partners, and I've had a chance to do that. Great fundraising programs emanate from advancement, but include a broad partnership of campus team members that are engaged in that process. That's what we want to help you build. Our ultimate goals in this journey are really twofold. One, to certainly help you complete this campaign very successfully, and you're on a great trajectory to do that. The other thing we want to do, though, is at the same time build a program that is positioned for sustainable success and growth ongoing into the future. So we're going to have a dualistic time frame. We're going to be thinking about the next 4 years with respect to your campaign, but frankly, we're also building for the future and something that can fuel this great enterprise. To go a little further into some of the things that we will be doing, I talked a little bit about the partnerships that we hope to facilitate. We want those people who come to the table with us, people like deans, our athletic directors in the room today, board members who I've had a chance to spend time with over the last couple of days. We want them to feel well prepared for the task at hand. So we'll be doing some training and some professional development work on the nuances, the strategy of working directly with donors, developing a case for support, right? We want them to be well positioned to do that work. So training will be a piece. Communication is going to be another piece. We've got a significant piece of our scope built that way by intention. You have a really unique opportunity right now. There are tremendous things happening at this university, and I don't need to tell you that. You have terrific success in this campaign. You have the coalescence of new leadership. This is a moment when the institution's stories can really be amplified. Our hope would be that the campaign can help very directly with that and be an amplification of Western Michigan's great stories. And then ultimately how donors can invest and help accelerate that and help this place achieve its greatest ambitions. So all in all, we'll be working together over the coming weeks and months. The first phase of our work will conclude with a report that we'll be delivering to advancement and the president. And from there, we'll get to work implementing as your campaign council, walking alongside you on the communication work that I was talking about, and ultimately putting together a plan for campaign success and beyond. That concludes my formal remarks. I would be glad to take questions if you have any. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick. I just would close again by reminding us that with WMU, the U is you, it's us. And our future, again, with operational direction from President Cavaluna and the fiduciary responsibilities of the board, is to move this mission forward. And we're excited and privileged to have the opportunity to do that. So message out to everybody is the time is now. So let's work together and collaborate on creating opportunities for future investment. So with that, I'd like to say thank you and answer any questions that you might have. Trustee
Not a
Wood?
question, but a comment, Kaylor. Thank you. This is great work, and I look forward to working on it. A little embarrassed that our own Board of Trustees didn't make the 100% participation list, but I'm committed to supporting you and making that happen next time. Giving Day is on our calendars.
Awesome. Making note of that, and we'll hold you accountable next year. Thank you. Appreciate that. Great. Thank you, everybody.
Dr. Schuman, awesome job. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Next, I'd like to ask President Cavaluna to introduce our next agenda item, the WMU AAUP Scholarship for First Generation Students.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman and trustees. I appreciate you being willing to let me make a few comments about this exciting development. The way that we'll do this is I'll talk a bit about the history of, well, not the history, just how this came about. And then what I'd like to do is to introduce one of our professors who will talk a little bit about one of his students who is one of the awardees. And then I'll invite the other two students to come up, and I'll make a short introduction of each of them, and then they'll talk a bit about their time at Western. And then I'll invite any questions any of you all have for any of these students. So when I started in what I call my third term here at Western, my first term was when I was a student here, my second term was when I was an administrator about 10 years ago, and my third term started 9 months ago. I began meeting with constituents and groups of stakeholders, and one of those was the AAUP, and the leadership of that, for those of you that aren't aware, the full-time faculty union at that time were President Hemlick and Vice President Bailey. I met with them, and I talked with them about where we wanted to go together in collaboration. And one of the things that we came up with was that the idea of us, and I've talked with both of them, and they've allowed me to say this, and the idea that we have more in common than we have apart was a bedrock principle for us. And one of the things that they feel very strongly about, and I felt very strongly about as your spokesperson, trustees, was that the idea of teaching people, giving people access to public education, especially here at Western Michigan University, is the passion project for all of us, all of those members, all of administrators, and everyone here, frankly, even the students. And so it was very exciting for me when the AAUP agreed to devote some of their own dues dollars. And for those of you that are not members of collective bargaining, if you're a member of a union, you pay dues. I've done that. My parents did that. And the elected leaders of that union collect those dues and leverage those to advance the interests of the union. And this union decided to devote almost $5,000 towards a scholarship for students. And we found an independent third party to bring another $10,000 together to say that the AAUP and the Board of Trustees and the President's Office are going to work together to literally hand money to students that are at Western. And then we started thinking about what kind of students do we want to support. And again, my friends from the AAUP said, you know, Russ, you've talked a bit about your dad being an immigrant, and you've talked a bit about your parents being first-generation college students. What if we made this devoted towards students who were first-generation college students? And so that's what we did. Now, I have to tell you, AAUP and myself, Kaler, we're not that good at building scholarships. We kind of just clunked around in it for a while. Your staff was fantastic, but we trustees ended up getting kind of a rubric where we got to look at many, many applicants for this scholarship. And we couldn't tell much about the people. In fact, we did that on purpose. We simply knew that they were enrolled at Western, that they were first-generation college students, which we defined as either themselves were their first person in their family to attend college, or their parent was the first person to be in college. And I asked to see their grade point average, and they got a chance to write a short essay about what they would do with the education they had here at Western and how a financial scholarship would be helpful. And then we went through and ranked them all. And you students don't know this, but I mean, we went from a lot down to, I think, 20, and then down to 10, and then the last 7 were hard. They were really hard. These stories were inspirational, and I'm really excited that you're going to get to meet and hear from some of them. And that's what we're here to celebrate today. And that is a third party and the AAUP have come together to say, supporting students in this, what we think is one of the most transformational things we do, which is giving people shots at the American dream through public education, which was nice enough for the AAUP to let me say that that's what feels like happened to my family here at Western Michigan University. And so the first person I'm going to invite up here is Dr. Kutzko. Now, Dr. Kutzko is going to speak just a little bit about one of his students. Come on up. Mason Sanchez is one of the 3 awardees here, and Mason would like to be here, but the reality is he's at a conference in New York presenting on some of his own research that he's done here as an undergrad at Western Michigan University, which is one of the reasons he got the award, Dr. Kutzko. I won't steal the thunder that Dr. Kutzko is going to share with you, just a little vignette about Mason, but I will say his story and each of these stories are really exciting because they show the type of people that we invest in and the kind of return we get. Someone from literally off the west coast of California. He lived on an island outside of California. Came all the way to Western, but for the scholarship, may not have stayed. So, Dr. Kutzko, it's my privilege to introduce you and ask you to make a few comments about Mason because he's at that conference.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mason is at the conference right now. He thanks President Cavalluna and the AUP for awarding him this distinguished scholarship, which will make a substantial difference for him as he's finishing up his undergraduate studies and thinking about the future. Before I read his statement, I just wanted to say, as the chair of World Languages and Literatures, how pleased I am with this new award and with Mason as one of its recipients. Mason is an example of what makes Western such a great university. He's a double major in both Latin and philosophy and has connected these studies to continue to pursue ancient philosophy after graduation. Besides the mentoring that he has received from these two departments, Dr. Agatha Slupek in political science and he have been working on formal research together, and Mason often tells me how happy he is that he's been able to meld these diverse interests through multiple departments in the College of Arts and Sciences and through the guidance of multiple mentors. Your scholarship further highlights the special nature of Western so that all may learn. A few notes about Mason. As the President said, he was born and raised in Avalon on Catalina Island, California. He's the youngest of three. He's a first-generation college student, and as I said, his double majors are in Latin and philosophy. And this is directly from Mason's description about how he is promoting peace, democracy, social justice, or health through education. I've worked to promote democracy through education by treating philosophical inquiry as a practical tool for critical thinking and civic agency. As a first-generation college student, I entered higher education keenly aware that fields like philosophy are often treated as abstract or guarded by a sense of elitism. Yet it becomes clear that the questions philosophy asks about justice, authority, and moral obligation are not remote or academic luxuries. They are the very tools people need to navigate power, disagreement, and responsibility in a democratic society. He also, in his spare time, has written a book called Living Well with Wisdom, A Practical Good Guide to a Meaningful Life. And the book is Education, Translating Ancient Ethical Traditions into a Usable Framework for Everyday Life. He concludes by saying that his academic research with Dr. Agatha Slupek extends his work that he's been doing in his book in more formal scholarly direction. We are developing a philosophical genealogy that connects ancient virtue ethics to contemporary conditions of epistemic overexposure. Our work examines how constant demands of visibility, reaction, and emotional availability can erode autonomy and sound judgment. And he says, through this combination of public writing and academic research, I wrote work to promote democracy through education by equipping others with the philosophical tools to think critically, judge responsibly, and participate in shared political life. He is quite an amazing young man, and we really thank you for this award. Thank you.
So thank you, Professor. I will add one more bit about Mason that he shared after he won the award. And it was, he ran into financial hardship such that just last fall, he had decided to leave Western Michigan University. He said that, and this is a quote, that it blew him out of the water when he got the note that he got this award, and he stayed at Western. So we can say that the administration and AAUP have gotten together and done retention together. The next award is for Varya Rugoija. Come on up and stand next to me. I'm going to say just a few things about Varya, sorry. And then I'm going to let her make a comment. Now, look, you can read what you have. You can say whatever you want. You can dance. You can do whatever you want. The things I want to say is just how impressed I am, and none of this was on your application, by the way. They wouldn't let you list all these things, but trustees, I mean, I have a list here of the students' campus engagement. So I have College of Aviation Ambassador, customer service specialist at the WMU Recreation Center, president of the WMU Student Chapter of Airline Pilots Association International ACE Club, secretary of the WMU Women's in Aviation Chapter, navigator for the College of Aviation's Air Race Classic team, and a member of the Business Aviation Club. Not only is she all those things, she's also now a pilot, a commercial pilot, and has just, for those of you pilots know, she's started with her multi-engine commercial license and just added on her single engine, which is the very end steps to become someone who gets paid to be a pilot. She says she'd either rather be a commercial airline pilot or a commercial pilot in the corporate sector. And she comes from Indiana, so we're still recruiting outside of the state. Trustees, and I won't steal any more of her thunder except to say congratulations, and we're excited to hear about how this award might help you.
Thank you. My name is Varia Ragoja, and I'm majoring in aviation flight science. Like he said, I'm originally from St. John, Indiana. This is my second year at Western, although I'm a junior and on track to graduate in spring 2027. I chose Western after researching the top aviation programs and visiting several campuses. I love that Western is about 2 hours from home, far enough to be independent but not too far, and that the aviation campus is newly renovated and feels like a close-knit community while still being part of a large university. Tuition was also an important factor, and Western offered a top-tier program at a reasonable cost. As a first-generation college student and a flight student, the WMU AAUP First Generation Scholarship has meant a great deal to me. I actually found it on Scholarship Universe and submitted my application just a day or two before the deadline. When I opened the email saying I received it, I was so excited and immediately called my parents to share the news. Flight training, especially the commercial phase, is very expensive, and the scholarship arrived at exactly the right time. It helped me finish all of my commercial training and significantly reduced financial pressure on my family and me. At Western, I've really enjoyed getting involved beyond the cockpit. I'm active in aviation-related student organizations and also involved in Greek life, which has given me a balance of professional development and campus community. Everyone has been very welcoming, from my classmates to my professors, and I feel supported here. After graduation, I hope to become a commercial pilot, although I'm open to corporate flying and other flying opportunities. And I am confident that my degree and experience at Western will help me get there. Thank you, President Cavalluna and the WMU AAUP for the scholarship. My family and I really appreciate the support. Thank you.
President
All right.
Cavalluna, can I ask a
Yeah,
couple,
yeah, yeah.
Can
Go
I ask
ahead.
a couple questions? So you have a special place in my heart. Voria, is that right?
Varia.
Varia. So the Air Race
She's a
Classic.
pilot, too.
How'd you guys do in the Air Race Classic?
What?
How did you do in the Air Race
This
Classic?
is my first year doing it. It's
Oh,
race is
it's
on
this
June-
summer. You
yeah,
haven't
it's
done it
June
yet.
23rd. It starts.
Okay. So for those of you who aren't familiar with this race, it originated back in the 1920s with Amelia Earhart and all of her buddies, and it was dubbed the Powder Puff Derby, because back then in the 20s, flying was very glamorous. You had a lot of Hollywood stars out there, and Ward Rogers came out and saw these beautiful women getting ready to race the planes, and he said, wow, it looks like a Powder Puff Derby to me. So I actually had a chance to fly the race almost 20 years ago, a couple times.
How'd you guys do?
We actually won the
Oh,
race.
congrats. Well, hopefully we win this year.
Yeah, but now there are devices on the airplane that keep track of your altitude to make sure you don't bust certain minimums that maybe we were close to. But you'll have a really fun time. It'll challenge your aviation skills, and I congratulate you on your scholarship, on your ability to race, and I wish you all the best in your aviation career.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mariah? All right, thank you, Mariah. So, Mr. Chairman, I have one more student to introduce you to who will make comments, and then I'll take a picture with both of them. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. The next student is Shofi Alom. How do you say your last name? I got it? Okay. I have kind of a long, strange last name, so I appreciate it, Shofi. So I'll tell you just a little bit about Shofi's time here at Western Michigan, and I won't say anything about how he got here because it is literally unbelievable. I literally read this and thought, this cannot be true. And to see you, it warms my heart to see that you're here at Western Michigan, which is a really good tease, so trust me, it's worth it. But while he's here, Shofi is a member of the Sunseeker Solar Car Project. I will just say he was born in another country and found himself here to Western Michigan University, and now he has plans to get into electrical engineering. No surprise, he's working with the solar car. And I kind of got a smile, Shofi, when you said your hometown was Grand Rapids, because I know you've come a long way from before Grand Rapids. And as the son of an immigrant, I just want to say you got here. You were in the foster care system. You got yourself through that. You got to Western Michigan University. And I knew none of this when we selected you or any of your colleagues, but I can tell you that what you're about to share makes me very proud that you're a Bronco. So come on up and tell these folks where you're from.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to be here with all of you. My name is Shofi Alam, and I'm pursuing Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering. And I'm deeply honored to receive this scholarship. To me, it is more than a financial support. It is a bridge between my past, my family's sacrifices, and the future that I'm building. As a first-generation college student, this scholarship symbolizes possibilities and belonging. In my family, I'm the first to graduate from high school, and now among the very few to have privilege to pursue higher education in my ethnic group called Rohingya. Now I would like to share a little bit about my journey to the United States. Every time when I talk about this journey, I got emotional. It's very hard for me to share about. Imagine just being 12 years old and having to flee your home by yourself and leaving your family behind, taking a dangerous journey, knowing that there's less than 50% chance that you will survive. Unfortunately, that was me. I was born in Burma. I'm a survivor of Rohingya genocide, which was committed by Burmese military. On April 19, 2015, was the last time when I said goodbye to my family and began my dangerous and most horrendous journey to Malaysia on a human trafficking boat, along with other people. Throughout the journey, there was many times when I was close to death. On the human trafficking boat, I almost fell into the ocean, died from starvation, dehydration, and drank salt water to stay alive. After 11 days at the ocean, I reached Thailand. In the Thailand jungle for 6 days, I slept on the dirt, ate banana leaves, barks, and other plants to survive. When I asked a man at a rubber farm in the jungle for food, he called the police on me. And I was arrested on May 8, 2015. I was then held in detention center, jail, and orphanage for over 17 months. On December 20th, 2016, I came to the United States as a refugee, and I was placed in multiple foster care homes until I aged out in 2021. On December 20th, 2022, I officially became a US citizen. After 10 years later, on June 1st, 2025, I was finally reunited with my biological family in Bangladesh refugee camps, when my family also fled Burma after my village was completely burned down in 2024 in a new wave of Rohingya genocide. Hundreds of my relatives, family members, the people that I know, are killed and still getting killed. For years, I cried every single day. I do not want even my biggest enemy to endure what I have endured. I still cannot forget the moment when Western Michigan University gave me hope and opened its doors for me in 2022. I cannot thank and appreciate deeply enough to Western Michigan University for the opportunities it has given me. When I received this scholarship, when I received the email about it, it was almost unbelievable. This scholarship has lifted a financial burden from me, allowing me to focus more deeply on my education, made higher education feel more possible and within reach. It's reminded me that Western Michigan University truly recognizes and invests in students just like me. In the future, I hope to give back to students who face barriers to opportunity. After I graduate next year in 2027, I hope to build a career as a professional electrical engineer while continuing to advocate for refugees and displaced people. My goal is to use my skills to serve others, to be a role model, to show other people from similar backgrounds that going to college, earning a degree, and building a meaningful career are all within reach. That is what Western Michigan University has made possible for me. I now want to sincerely thank President Cavalluna and the Western Michigan University AAUP for selecting me to receive this scholarship. And thank you to Western Michigan University Board of Trustees for giving me this time to say thank you.
Any questions?
How much more money do you need?
She's being serious.
Any questions? I have a lot, it's a lot. This is just what I can summarize to, the minimum.
Thank you.
And this is just the journey that I started, not what
Look at that good
before.
picture of you there. Did you give
Thank
him
you.
that?
Yes.
That's a good one. Any other questions? All right, we'll do a picture with you two, and one more time, congratulations.
Thank you, President Cavalluna. I just want to go off script for 30 seconds here and say to the president that I'm sure your mom and dad would be proud of you and Courtney for not forgetting where you came from. The matching scholarship, actually, and then some, came from President Cavalluna and his wife, and on behalf of the entire university, I just want to thank you for not forgetting where you came from, not forgetting your journey, and for investing in our fine students along with the AAUP. God bless you. As an aside, our great president leads by example. And he has the opportunity and the right for an inaugural celebration of him being our 10th president. And the cost of that to the university is approximately $125,000 to $150,000. And this great leader said to the Board of Trustees that he'd rather that go back to the university for investment in our future. And I can't thank you enough, Mr. President, for leading by example. It's an honor to serve alongside you. Okay. And Professor Kutzko, our Dean of Aviation, is also here. I think I speak on behalf of every board member that none of us would be here if we didn't have a mentor. And your mentorship and taking the time to invest in Mason, Varia, and Shufi is a testament to who you are and the example of why we are differentiated as a great university. So I want to thank you as well. With that, Secretary Thinis, do we have any public comments regarding action items?
We do not have any public comments.
Okay, now moving to action items, I'd like to ask General Counsel Keith Hahn to present the proposed WMU non-discrimination and sexual misconduct policies under consideration. Mr. Hahn?
Thank you, Chair Turfy. Western Michigan University strives to cultivate a healthy and diverse community that recognizes the value of each individual and helps foster safety, civility, and respect for all people. Members of the WMU community have the right to be free from sexual and protected class discrimination, harassment, violence, and all other forms of prohibited conduct described in the policies that are being considered today. All members of the community are expected to conduct themselves in a manner that does not infringe upon the rights of others. These policies have been developed to reaffirm these principles and to provide accountability for conduct that violates these policies. The sexual misconduct policy prohibits sex-based discrimination, including sexual harassment, domestic violence, and stalking committed by or against WMU community members of any gender. It also provides redress for those who have been victims of such behaviors or who have been accused of such behaviors. This policy has been updated to incorporate definitions from the 2020 Title IX final rules, changes to the Jean Clary Campus Safety Act, and the Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act, bifurcated the formal resolution process, and was aligned with the proposed non-discrimination policy. The non-discrimination policy prohibits discrimination and harassment on the basis of protected characteristics, as well as retaliation for engaging in protected activities as set forth in federal and state law. It also provides resources for those individuals whose rights may have been violated and provides accountability for conduct that violates this policy. This policy has been updated due to changes in the Jean Clary Safety Act and the Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act, added gender-based harassment, which was formerly in the sexual misconduct and gender-based discrimination policy, and was aligned with the proposed sexual misconduct policy. I would like to thank Institutional Equity, the Title IX Committee, the Policy Committee, and this board who have reviewed and provided feedback to these policies. A special thanks to the Director of Title IX Compliance, Felicia Crawford, who really directed revisions to these policies for review. She's really the best in the business, and we are very lucky to have her. And she is here today, can answer any additional questions you might have. So it is recommended that the board approve the non-discrimination policy and the sex misconduct policy with an effective date of May 11th, 2026, the start of Summer 1 semester.
Are there any questions or comments from my fellow trustees? If there are no further discussion, I will entertain a motion to approve the WMU non-discrimination and sexual misconduct policies as presented.
So moved.
Support.
It has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Secretary Thinis, can you please take the roll call?
I can. Chair Turfy?
Yes.
Vice Chair Burris?
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang?
Yes.
Trustee Edgerton?
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley?
Yes.
Trustee Liggins?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Wood?
Yes.
Chair Turfy, the motion passes.
Thank you, Secretary Thinis. Next, we will consider the consent items as outlined earlier in the meeting. I will entertain a motion to consider this agenda item.
So moved.
It has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Secretary Thinis, may you please take a roll call?
Chair Turfy?
Yes.
Vice Chair Burris?
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang?
Yes.
Trustee Edgerton?
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley?
Yes.
Trustee Liggins?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Wood?
Yes.
Okay. Chair Turfy, your consent items pass.
Thank you, Secretary Thinis. We will now move to the final item on today's agenda, public comments. Secretary Thinis, do we have any general public comments?
We do not have any comments.
Thank you. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. It has been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The motion carries. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for taking the time to be with us.